It's that time of year again. The cold and flu season is back. We talked with some local experts about what to do to boost your immune system naturally.
There certainly is a lot that you can do to boost your health and immunity going into the flu season.
That we find that people come in looking for something to either help them heal from the cold or the flu, or just to boost their immune system so they don't get sick when they're around all these other people and indoors all winter long.
A lot of people don't realize that sugar actually directly inhibits the function of white blood cells. Within 20 minutes of having a high dose sugar, white blood cells, which are the fundamental part of the immune system, decrease their mobility, decrease their function. So people who have a fairly, consistently high sugar diet really won't fare as well when they're fighting any type of cold or infection.
If someone were to come in and ask me what can I do to protect myself through this winter, to keep my immune system boosted, is there one thing that I can do? And I would probably say to that individual, let's take a look at what we're eating. That would be where I would start. And I would say, let's see if we can eliminate some of the sugars or refined carbohydrates that we're eating. And then I would probably suggest to taking a good multivitamin, because that will give you some good sound nutrition along with what you're eating.
Certain foods, good rich proteins for building blood would be lamb, buffalo, turkey for those who are not vegetarian. Broths are really good as well, and you want a broth that has rich sources of protein, has colorful vegetables, dark leafy greens, broccoli, bok choy, things like that. And you can always think about that nutrients in nature are found where the most color is. So blueberries and raspberries are rich in bioflavonoids and vitamin C. The dark leafy greens have a lot of the minerals that your immune system needs to fight off infections. So when selecting your foods in the winter, go for those lean, rich sources of protein, go for color in your diet, and avoid the sugars as much as possible.
I use two things that continually have shown to improve what's called cellular immunity, which is the viral fighting aspect of our body. One is an extract called elderberry. Elderberry has shown time and time again to decrease the incidence of flu.
We have several different types of elderberry syrups, which have been proven by virologists to show, that they do help kill just a viral infection.
The second one is taking a high dose of vitamin C.
So one of the things we do is, on a daily basis, is vitamin C.
Having a nice high dose of vitamin C with bioflavonoids, 1,000 to 3,000 milligrams a day, can really just keep that immune system tonified, and it'll make you feel better too. So that's a nice, easy preventive to use.
And then if I get a virus or some kind of infection of any sort, I will immediately act upon that so that it doesn't last a long time, especially if it's a viral infection, a cold or a flu coming around. If you can catch that early enough and use the proper things, you can break down the mucus buildup, and so that it flows and is dumped out of the body instead of settling in the nose or the throat and then growing bacteria, hence turning into some type of a bacterial infection, which is what we don't want.
As far as herbs, a lot of people hear of and use echinacea, and echinacea certainly has its role, but most people don't use it appropriately. It is not really that effective as a preventative, and it's really effective when used right at the onset of feeling a flu or cold. And most people, again, don't dose it high enough. You want to get a really good source. And when I say that, I mean that a lot of companies will store herbs on shelves for years, and then when the market's right, they sell off the herbs, and so it's lost a lot of its vitality by that point. So you want to get a good source of the herb, and at a real high dosage. So if you're taking a good tincture form, you'll be doing a ½ ounce a day of the tincture for 3 or 5 days, and that's it. After that, it has a decreased effect, but it can really help ward off the onset of any type of cold or flu.
So when you are searching for an herbal supplement or vitamin supplement, it's a great idea to come to a health store. At a health store, you're going to find people who know what they're talking about. They're going to understand the products. They're going to be aware of what they have on the shelf and for the most part what those particular items do for you. Whereas going to a larger store, supermarket, or wherever you might tend to go to find something maybe a little bit cheaper, a lot of times you're going to find fillers in those products. They're not going to be the medicinal part of that particular item that you're purchasing, or the people there may not fully understand exactly what it is that you're purchasing, won't be able to answer the questions for you or find the answers to those questions.
So just to sum up, there really are a lot of options out there for working with the immune system and staying healthy through all the seasons, and especially the winter time. Really, everyone is unique, and everyone's going to be drawn to certain techniques than others. And I encourage people to educate themselves and do what's feeling right for you and where they feel the most effects. You can find great resources in literature. There's great publications such as Healthy Utah. There's great stuff on the internet. Our clinic is open to basic questions, but our established patients are always calling in for little tit-tats of advice, and we're more than ready to give those when they're ready. And as a little reminder, when your body gets sick, use it as a little flag. It's basically telling you something that you're a little out of balance. Maybe you wore yourself out too hard, or you're not eating quite right. So don't just focus on getting better, which we all want to focus on, but use it as a bit of education of maybe I wasn't living quite in balance in the period right before I got sick, which is perhaps one reason why a lot of students get sick right after finals, because they're pushing really hard. So listen to your body.